Hi everybody, welcome back and thank you for spending time with me. Okay, today I'm going to slip away from the usual topic and the current topic to address something which had been bothering me for a while. And as those of you who know me a little better than most will know, I have a thing about fairness, and if there is one thing which is seriously starting to bother me, it is everyone climbing on the bandwagon now comparing Andrew and Sarah to Harry and Meghan. I don't mind if it is your opinion. We are all entitled to our opinion. But if someone goes on about doing research and finding all these similarities, then you or they are lying. Except for the fact that both Harry and Andrew were the heir and the spare at some point in their lives, they have nothing in common and little to no similarities. I don't care what Andrew did or did not do, but the way Andrew is being treated and put in the same category as Harry is unfair, in my opinion. And to put Sarah in the same category as Meghan is even more unfair, in my opinion. And as always, I am prepared to back up my opinion with actual facts. Like I said, Andrew was the spare to Prince Charles until the day William was born, and then Harry, which pushed him even further down the totem pole. The same happened to Harry once George was born, and subsequently William's two other children. The difference being that not once have we heard that Andrew had any resentment towards William and Harry, whereas Harry has by now implied numerous times that he harbours a measure of resentment towards William's children. Remember when Harry said that he was afraid of becoming irrelevant as William's children were growing up? Andrew, on the other hand, continued on his own path, regardless. First a career in the Air Force, and then he tried to carve a niche for himself in international business relations. Talking about the military careers, let's compare Andrew's with Harry's military career. But before we do that, let's just mention that Andrew graduated from his father's old school, Gordonstown, with A-levels in English, history and economics, whereas Harry graduated from Eton with two A-levels, a B in art and a D in geography, with claims of cheating to obtain even that. But let's leave that at that and carry on. Andrew joined the Royal Navy in 1979, first going to the Royal Navy College, undergoing pilot training. Once he was accepted as trainee pilot, he signed on for 12 years. Later, the same year, he became a midshipman, then went back to Britannia Royal Naval College, Dartmouth. He also completed the Royal Marines All-Arms Command course successfully and received his Green Beret for that. In 1981, he became sub-lieutenant. After Dartmouth, Andrew did further flying training with the Royal Air Force, where he also learned to fly different helicopters, and after he received his wings, he went on to do advanced training on the Sea King helicopter before joining the carrier-based Squadron 820 Naval Air Squadron aboard the aircraft carrier HMS Invincible. In April 1982, the Falklands War broke out. Invincible was one of two operational carriers available at the time, and the British government became nervous and feared that the Queen's son may be killed in action, and wanted to do what they later did with Harry, and wanted to extract Andrew to a desk job during the conflict. Andrew did not want that and insisted on remaining with his squadron. With the support of the Queen and Prince Philip, he got to remain on board, whereafter he flew numerous missions that included anti-submarine warfare, anti-surface warfare, missile decoy, casualty evacuation, transport, search and rescue missions. Andrew remained with Invincible until 1983. In Nigel Ward's memoir, he describes Andrew as an excellent pilot and a promising officer. At the end of 1983, he was transferred to RNAS Portland, and in February 1984, he was promoted to lieutenant. Andrew then served on HMS Brazen as fighter pilot until 1986 and was again deployed to the Mediterranean Sea. He then went on to do a staff course and a helicopter instructor's course, and upon graduation served as helicopter warfare officer in 702 Naval Air Squadron. He also served on HMS Edinburgh as officer of the watch, assistant navigating officer, and was deployed once again to the Far East for 6 months. The list goes on and on and on until he was promoted to commander in April 1999. He finished his naval career and was retired from the active list in July 2001. A career of 22 years, many qualifications, a number of deployments. Way too much for one video. Okay, now looking at Harry. Although Harry was promoted to lieutenant fairly quickly and was deployed twice, he was also pulled out twice as soon as serious fighting started. Although Harry qualified as an Apache helicopter pilot, he only ever acted as co-pilot and gunner. According to Harry himself, he flew on 6 missions, whereas Andrew likely flew hundreds. Harry spent 10 years in the military, and the 10 years included time with the Horses Guard in London as staff officer and a secondment to the Australian Defence Force. Other than the fact that both Andrew and Harry served their country in a military role, their careers cannot be compared at all. There is no comparison. The one is a Bentley and the other one a bicycle. Do I need to state the other obvious differences? Well, maybe just quickly. Regardless of the fact that Andrew was basically stripped of his HRH, stripped of all his honorary titles and appointments, and all his patronages were returned, his initiatives were wound down and closed, as well as having his charitable trust and all his award schemes closed. And all of this was handed down to him by his mother, the Queen. Despite all of this, Andrew has not once publicly spoken out against his mother or brother, or even his brother's son, who had joined the push to strip Andrew. Imagine how hurtful and embarrassing that must have been, to have someone who was a child to you, a cousin to your children, to be part of the posse who demoted you. But regardless of that, Andrew kept his mouth shut, accepted his forced retirement, while just trying to maintain some of his dignity. Him and his ex-wife still visited the Queen, still did their best to help and care for her. So, someone wants to try and convince me or you that Harry and Andrew are alike, when it does not take a genius or much research to know what Harry said and implied in the Oprah interview, what he said and implied in the Netflix series, and what he said in his book Spare, how he humiliated, lied, embarrassed, and threw his entire family under the bus. We know there was and may still be some animosity between Andrew and his brother, the newly crowned king. But Andrew did not sign a deal with ITV or Netflix to dish and dump on his brother Charles, did he? Now, Andrew does not drink or smoke at all, and never has. Harry smoked cigarettes, and now he smokes the other stuff He drinks like a fish, even in public, on television, and Harry admitted to taking drugs. Research until you are blue in the face to prove links between Andrew and Meghan via Epstein and Weinstein. Because it is a waste of time. It is likely, very, very likely, they met or knew about each other. Or, when Meghan's relationship with Harry broke, Andrew was likely told by his friends or his friends' friends about Meghan's background. Who knows? It's no secret. Andrew and Meghan had people in common. Marcus Anderson and Ron Burkle of Soho House, to name only two. But so what? I, you, we, us. We all know people. I know people who know people. You know people who know people. And it does not mean we had slept or had any kind of nefarious dealings with any of those people. So why on earth do we apply or expect that from Andrew? Why is it necessary or important for some people to spend time and effort to prove that Andrew had a nefarious liaison with Meghan, and then to quote so-called bogus research and even try to convince the public by using photographs of Andrew and a model named Alexandra Escat and telling the world that it is Meghan? No, my dear, then you did not do any research, bugger all, because I am South African and found photographs and the person's name within 5 minutes, openly on the internet. And then some of you still come and argue with me that it was Meghan. No, it was not Meghan. You can go into Meghan's history and see where she was in 2010, and you will see that regardless of who or what she is, it wasn't her. And the young lady, like I said, came out and admitted to being her. And there are close-ups of her with Andrew this same weekend. So how anyone can come and say, oh, but it is Meghan, it is Meghan, look at the arms, look at this. No, it's not. But why are you doing that? For clicks and views. That is why. Because everyone just wants to hear the dirty gossip and are not interested in anything good or positive. Now, understand me very well. I'm not a particular fan of Prince Andrew. When he was young, I thought he was rather handsome, particularly in uniform. But that is it. Now, because of all this vitriol, I am, however, becoming increasingly empathetic and sympathetic towards him. Because for me, it is a matter of fairness. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. Yes, investigate Andrew, slander him, accuse him, question him. But then you have to do exactly the same with King Charles's friendship with Savile, Ball, and Van der Post. And then you also need to put your money where your mouth is and do the same with the allegations of assault against Harry. Okay? Then you can go dig into Andrew. If you do it to all of them, you can do it to him. I don't mind. However, if you do not wish to do any or either of those things, then leave Andrew alone now. He has paid the price for his sins to the point where he even lost his annual income from the monarchy. Now, I'm not even going to waste my time talking about the comparisons that are being made between Sarah and Meghan, except to refer you to the one person who knew better than any of us, who had the wisdom we are still hoping to gain, namely Her Majesty the Queen, Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II forgave Sarah. She cared about Sarah. She enjoyed Sarah's company and left her dogs for Sarah to take care of. However, she wanted as little as possible to do with Meghan in the end and called her evil. So if that is not enough for you, then I don't know what is. Look, my dear friends, even I come to you sometimes with stories, and some of them may even turn out not to be true and complete BS. But I at least tell you when it is unconfirmed gossip, and I tell you when it is not. And here is a tip. When I stick to my story, regardless of what other creators are saying, then you can go rest easy that you heard the truth. And today I'm going to tell you a couple of facts before closing this video. Andrew is not an abuser because nothing he did was forced on anyone. Fact. That is a fact. Andrew is not a pedophile because the girl was of age in the different countries at the time of their encounters, and that is a fact. Now these are facts, and I'm sticking to it no matter what other creators say, okay? Now here follows something shared with me which I cannot state as a fact, but which I do sincerely believe to be true. Okay, so I'm told it is highly, highly doubtful, as in highly, highly, highly doubtful, Prince Andrew had physical relations with Virginia Giuffre, because not only does Prince Andrew not smoke, drink, or use drugs, but allegedly, according to my source, he is a germaphobe and does not use prostitutes and has never. Okay? Allegedly and according to my very good source. And the source is someone who would not have given me 10 seconds of her time had she not picked up how strongly I felt about this. So, you guys can take it and go make of this what you will. Okay guys, so that is my rant for the day. I have some other insider information concerning the Andrew and Harry debacle, but I think it is best that I keep it for a more appropriate time. In any case, it is not earth-shattering, it is just informational. For now, I'm asking you all to do only one thing for me. Well, actually two things. One is to click that subscribe button, and the second thing is to please, please take a minute, even just a few seconds, to think when listening to YouTube videos, mine included. Think, and if thinking is not good enough to make your minds up, then do your own research. I personally have stopped watching some of the bigger channels because of this trend of riding the bandwagon and calling the trends facts. I'm saddened and disappointed, and if that is what it takes to grow a channel, then mine can stay as it is. Then I'm not going to jump on and do lives and just spread false information. No, just to get clicks and views, and which eventually translates into money. I need the money as much as anyone else, but I'm not going to do that because I want to rest easy at night. Anyway, there are a few people though that I continue watching and whom I compliment, and one of those people, although I don't always agree with her, is Lady C. She's not always 100% correct, not all the time, and neither am I or anyone else. We all make mistakes. I also do not always agree with Lady C's opinions or her affiliations or her loyalties or or even a narrative. I don't always agree with her. But when she states something as fact and tells you it's a fact, then you can bet your bottom dollar it is. She also does not mind saying when it is something she heard. Like I often tell you, it's something I heard. In other words, it is gossip, and neither her nor I can guarantee that it is true. So there is that, and I commend someone like Lady C for doing that, and I myself try to stick to that. I think it is time we all try a little harder to stick as close to the truth as possible, because no matter what, the royal family are human and they bleed just like us. And my dear friends, with that, I rest my case. Please take care of yourselves until we meet on the next one. Bye.